Hello friends! This week, during a cold and rainy morning, I realized I had run out of cross-stitch floss for my forest autumn-themed cross-stitching project. So I went to the store and tried to find the matching colors. Although I did not find an exact match, I was able to find one close enough. Ever since I can remember, I have always loved fun little projects that has thread, needle, scissors, and creating something in the process. As a young toddler, I would watch my grandmother and my mother stitch and cut thread, and I wanted to participate in what they were doing. Telling you this now actually reminds me of a funny story. When I was about 3 years old, I was standing on the floor watching my mother sew. My mother tells me that I started to climb up on her back, and usually when I do that, she would lift one of her feet behind her to assist me in climbing up her back. And eventually, I'd be riding piggyback on her. She was standing and facing our dining table, where she would cut fabrics and sew them together. Her upper body was looking down closely on the fabrics on the table when she suddenly heard several loud snips coming from behind her head and seen chunks of her hair falling on top of the fabrics she had just cut on the table. Needless to say, she had to figure out a way to hide a chunk of her hair that was missing for a few weeks after that. Good thing her hair always grows fast. I didn't know what I was thinking, and I don't remember this, but my mom likes to tell me about it whenever I do anything with a scissor, needle, thread, or cloth in front of me. The only explanation I can think of is because my mom has always been the one to give me and my brother haircuts. She even gives my dad and herself haircuts. Growing up, she said it was because of her mom, who is my grandmother, who gave her and all of her siblings their haircuts. So maybe I wanted to do what she would do. She nor my grandmother are hairdressers, but they learn how to cut their hair because of necessity. It saves them money. One thing I learned from them is that you can learn skills yourself instead of paying someone else to do it. Ladybugs always loved to be in my bedroom. I don't remember a single week in my life where a ladybug had not come near me or been around me. I've read and heard many old superstitions that says that wherever ladybugs are, good fairies are. So I like to think that there are good fairies around me. The next day, after the rain had gone away and the ground dried, I decided to go on a little walk and enjoy the changing season. I like to take walks frequently. I truly believe walking is one of the best and most effective exercises. According to many studies, walking manages your blood pressure, maintains your weight, reduces your risk of a heart attack, and helps soothe stress. It's also one of the most natural forms of exercise. I like walking outside in our neighborhood. First, I get to breathe the fresh air, unlike many gyms that only recirculates the air inside, still carrying everyone's breath, with who knows what funk is in it. Second, I get to see nature. Trees, birds, and other little animals that hide in the small patches of forest near where I live. Third, I get some sunshine to give me vitamin D3. It makes me so healthy and so happy. It's just so beautiful to always experience the ever-changing things you see when you walk outside. Fourth, you don't have to pay gym membership, and I don't have to go out on certain times and on certain days because outside never closes its door. It's free, it saves money, and it gives me freedom to walk outside for free anytime and any day. Later in the week, I got very excited. The first of autumn gifts has arrived! My family's Fuyu Asian Persimmons have become just ripe enough to start picking. When picking a Fuyu Persimmon, you can't just yank it off its branch, or it will break the branch. You'll have to twist it many times to have it come off, or you can carry a garden scissor and cut off the stem. At the end of this video, you will see this first harvest of the season, and my basket was heavy, overflowing, and still there was so much more that needed to be harvested from just 3 little trees. We usually harvest a basketful every week from mid-autumn to early winter. Now, some of you may not be familiar with the Fuyu Persimmons. Some of you in the United States are probably just familiar with the American Persimmon. The difference between American Persimmon and Fuyu Asian Persimmon is, first, the outer appearance. American Persimmons have pointed bottoms, while Fuyu Persimmons almost look like a big tomato. The second difference between American Persimmon and Fuyu Asian Persimmon is that with the American variety, you cannot just eat it as it is. You have to cook it or bake with it before you can eat it. If you eat it fresh, it is not tasty at all, and it will coat your mouth with a very thick and unpleasant sap. However, American persimmons do become yummy once after it is baked or cooked as an ingredient in your baking or cooking needs. With the Fuyu Asian Persimmon, you can pick it right off the tree and eat it as it is. No cooking or baking required. The third difference is, with the American Persimmon, you have to wait for it to become extremely ripe and soft, almost mushy, before you can use it to bake or cook with. With the Fuyu Asian Persimmons, you don't have to wait for it to become so soft and ripe that it becomes mushy. Some people who knows about Fuyu Asian Persimmon like to eat it super ripe, as it is very, very sweet. However, my family and I like to eat it when it is not so soft and ripe, because we like it crunchy. One of the most complimentary things that an American friend of mine has said, after tasting it right off of one of our trees, is that Fuyu Asian Persimmons are crunchy like an apple, but sweeter. For those of you who know about Asian Fuyu Persimmon, Do you like to eat it soft and sweeter? Or do you like to eat it crunchy and still sweet like me and my family? Please put in the comment section how you eat it. Also, I've heard that in countries like in Japan and Korea, they use the leaves to wrap food and get steamed. If you're familiar with that, please share in the comment section how and why you do it. I'd love to learn from you and maybe experiment with my mom how to use not only the persimmon fruit, but also the other parts of the tree. And for those of you who are familiar with the American Persimmon, I would love it if you could please share your tried and true recipe with me. My family and I want to plant a couple of these trees and would love to learn from you. That is all for today. Until I see you again soon. Ingat po kayong lahat!